What's up, everyone? Today we're getting real, but let's cut the polite crap and get to it. We're all drowning in an existential mess, and the dudes are the ones quietly going under. Women? They've got their group chats buzzing 24/7, dissecting every crumb of their day like it's a breaking news story. Stacy's boyfriend didn't text back for 10 minutes? Emergency meeting? But us? We're out here, swallowing our feelings like a dry protein bar, hoping a PR deadlift will crush the crushing weight of life. Spoiler, it doesn't. And let's not forget how pathetic our catch-ups look in comparison. Haven't spoken to a buddy in years? No problem. Just pick up where you left off with a lifeless, "Yeah, man, I'm good." Good? Really? We're overworked, overstressed, and overloaded with expectations, but somehow we've convinced ourselves that saying anything real is some kind of weakness. Meanwhile, women are having fully funded TED Talks in their DMs about how Karen from HR looked at them weird. Here's the kicker. We need those lifelines just as much, if not more, but we've built a culture where asking for help feels like forfeiting some imaginary game. So what do? We pour ourselves into work, grind till we're numb, and slap on a smile that's as fake as the small talk we despise. Meanwhile, the void inside keeps growing. Honestly, it's tragic and laughable. We've mastered everything except admitting we're human. So yeah, we're not good, but God forbid we say it out loud. All right.
This is the thing I hear from all women nowadays. Where are all the masculine men? I'll tell you, the second you meet them, you run and hide.
Because they don't want to sacrifice a part within themselves, so that would
men
require them to show up.
Men are not willing to give up their commitment for somebody that is still committed to other things. And women need to really understand that, is that it's not easy to be with a real man. Most women say they want a high-value alpha male. They don't. They've been trained to want men that lie to their face. And that needs to be challenged.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off and talk about why modern dating feels like walking blindfolded through a minefield for men. Spoiler alert, it's not just the swiping Olympics. Dating today is a mess because men and women seem to be living in entirely different realities, and nobody's bothering to bridge the gap. It's like playing a game where the rules change every 5 minutes, and somehow, men are always losing. Here's the cold, hard truth. Men are juggling more than ever. Career grind, personal goals, emotional baggage. And let's not forget society's endless demands to be some Frankenstein mix of sensitive poet and alpha provider. Be confident but not cocky, emotionally open but not needy, ambitious but not a workaholic. And God forbid you slip up and show you're human, because then you're labeled a walking red flag. Meanwhile, women are out here misunderstanding men left, right, and center. A guy hesitates to open up because he's dealing with his own mountain of insecurities. Oh, he's emotionally unavailable. He focuses on his career to give himself a sense of purpose. Must mean he's not ready to commit. Newsflash, guys process their struggles differently. They're not texting their group chats for a therapy session. They're bottling it up, compartmentalizing, and maybe, just maybe, hitting the gym to sweat out the existential dread. And the double standards? Oh, don't even get me started. Be the provider, but also the chill, equal partner. Make the first move, but don't be too aggressive. Pay for the date, but don't act like you're traditional. It's like men are trapped in an endless maze of contradictory expectations, and every turn just leads to more frustration. Here's the kicker. The dating world has become so focused on women's wants and needs that men are reduced to auditioning for a role they didn't even sign up for. No one's stopping to ask what they need or what battles they're silently fighting. And yeah, some guys are checking out altogether, not because they're bitter or weak, but because they're sick of playing a game that feels rigged against them. So, unless dating culture starts valuing men as actual people with their own complexities and struggles, don't be surprised when more guys decide to opt out, focus on themselves, and leave the circus behind. Can you blame them?
This guy's 24 years old and has been on Tinder 128 days. He swiped 59,760 times, which is the equivalent of swiping 467 times a day. So he's definitely paying for gold. He only swiped right 183 times, which means he swiped right on 99.97% of people. So I really don't want to know what those 0.03% look like. Out of those 59,577 right swipes, he got 342 matches, which for a guy on Tinder isn't even that bad. So for every girl that swiped right on him, 173 swiped swiped left. Those 342 matches led to 162 chats, but he got 0 dates. What I'm trying to say is Tinder is a fucking scam. Save your money, boys.
Alright, let's cut through the fluff and call it like it is. The way men's mental health is treated today is an absolute joke, and no one seems to care enough to do anything about it. Society loves to act like men are unbreakable, that they're these stoic, unshakable beings who can just man up and plow through life without a scratch. And if you dare to show even a flicker of vulnerability, oh, suddenly you're weak, or worse, you're not a real man. It's exhausting, isn't it? Now let's add dating into this already toxic mix. Women say they want men to be emotionally open and vulnerable, but the moment a guy takes that risk and actually opens up, he's met with rolled eyes, impatience, or even disdain. Oh, he's too sensitive, they say. Too needy. As if being honest about your struggles somehow disqualifies you from being a real man. The hypocrisy is enough to make your head spin. And let's not forget the unspoken rule book that men are supposed to follow. You're expected to be the provider, the fixer, the emotional rock, all while bottling up your own problems because, hey, who has time for your feelings? If you falter, if you don't meet these impossible standards, you're disposable. That's right, disposable. It's not even subtle anymore. The message is clear. Perform, or you're not worth the time. This disposable man narrative is creating a generation of guys who feel completely alienated. Why bother opening up when the world's just going to slap you down for it? Why even try to engage in relationships when you're made to feel like a utility instead of a person? Men are quietly retreating into their own worlds, not because they don't want connection, but because they've been burned too many times to keep putting themselves out there. So here's the kicker. If society actually gave a damn about men's mental health, we'd stop telling them to suck it up and start meeting them halfway. It's about real support, not lip service. About respect, not ridiculous double standards. Until that happens, men will keep feeling lost, isolated, and emotionally abandoned in a world that only values them when they're performing. And let's be real. If you're a guy in your late 20s or early 30s, you're probably feeling this hard. You're past the carefree days of your 20s, staring down responsibilities, and wondering how the hell you got so stuck in the first place. You want to ask for directions, but let's face it, you've been taught to navigate solo, even if it's driving you off a cliff. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.